Hey folks, Randy Newberg here. Thanks for watching this episode from Season 9 of Fresh Tracks. Did you know that our Fresh Tracks Plus platform now has a free option? Yeah, if you go over there, you can watch this episode and a few others ad-free. And those of you who are paid subscribers, you already know. You can get a lot of exclusive content there. You get early access to content. You get invited to our exclusive live streams. And some of you even win an hour of FaceTime with me where we can plan your hunt. Go check out freshtracks.tv at the link below.
We went to go shoot my gun. I hadn't shot it at all this summer, and so Wade came with me to go shoot it. And we had to climb up this little mountain. I was like, we'll go climb that little mountain to see if how I feel a couple days before the hunt. And I had him on my back, and I was going through this little steep section. And it was really, really hard for me. And he told me, he said, "You can do it, Dad, you can do it." And I thought about his little voice telling me, "You can do it, Dad, you can do it, Dad." And when people believe in you, it gives you a self-belief that you can just do hard things. You can go through hard times and it's gonna be okay.
And hunting is life. In a lot of ways, it's the part of life where the fabric of my friendships are woven.
My wife and I own and operate a little business out of Idaho Falls, Idaho, and where we do summer pack trips and use llamas as our beast of burden. You would have told me when I was 16 years old that I was going to be a llama rancher and live in eastern Idaho. I would have said, yeah, right.
My expectations for this hunt were pretty high. You know, just kind of waiting for the perfect chance to get out here and go hunting in the backcountry of Wyoming. And obviously this was it, and it definitely did not disappoint.
I'd like to tell you that roughing it is part of this hunt, but when you go with Beau, they are backcountry and they are way back there. But the guy has it dialed in.
Here we are in the tent. Sorry, I'm a little tired.
Beau's been dealing with cancer most of the summer.
And my wife and I just decided, and the doctor gave us the green light. I said, you know, if I can go, I've got Lorenzo, I've got Marcus, Jonathan, and Randy will watch me and will be patient with me and will help me get in and get out and also to stay there. And I said, you know, I mentally just need to go.
I don't know how far, but we left the trailhead 9.5 hours ago, something like that.
Yep.
And we are here for the next, I don't know, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. Beau's like,
never going home.
Lorenzo, he says he's not going home either. But we got 3 deer tags to fill. And we're going to do just that.
And then the next day, it was really stormy and foggy and rainy, so we kind of just halfway hunted that day, but we really took the time to relax in the morning after the big hike in. Good morning, everybody. Well, it was good to sleep in this morning. I knew I was gonna have to. I got the shakes and my body's just really sore, but it's a long hike in here, especially for a guy that hasn't hiked at all this year. It's about 2:30 and it cleared up. So we're gonna put the packs on the llamas and make them carry our backpacks. We're gonna go to the ridge and see if we can blast some deer tonight. You know, I spent a lot of time glassing, a lot of time scouting, a lot of time researching areas, and just doing all I can to, you know, put the hunt together before the hunt happens. And my dad always used to tell me on mule deer hunts, he said, Beau, he said, you actually kill your deer in the summer by scouting them and finding them and patterning them, but you pull the trigger in the fall. We got to the top. Can't believe I'm up here. I would have bet $100 there's no way that I'd be up here during hunting season, so pretty amazing just to be here. This is wild country. Wild country.
Mule deer are my favorite species to hunt. And it's everything about them. They're so slick and they're so sneaky. There's something really special about them to me.
I think they're gonna be coming out of those small timber patches. I can't tell you how many bucks I've seen come over that saddle.
Right here.
Yeah.
Glassing. That's what high country mule deer is about.
There's a lone tree in it. They're in between that lone tree and those quaky trees just below it.
We found some deer tonight, $3, 2 points, 4x4, about 17 does, cow moose, calf moose, porcupine, and a fox. So a good showing on a stormy night. Yeah, couldn't be any better, you know. Sure was fun to glass. I haven't done that all year. Man, it was so fun.
You're gonna get to do a lot more of it. So we wake up the next morning and I knew something was wrong because the light was not on in Beau's tent. And Lorenzo came out and said, hey, Beau is too sick. He can't even get out of bed right now. All right, should one of us stay here with Beau if he's this sick?
So I told Randy and Lorenzo, I said, look, just go, have fun.
Go up to that same rock and go shoot Big Hank.
Be prepared for something great because it's probably gonna happen.
So the whole way hiking up the mountain that morning, I'm thinking, man, what about Beau? What about Beau? So when we get up to the ridge, it's just starting to get daylight, and it's so much nicer than the prior days as far as fog and spit and rain. And
We knew there was big bucks in the area, and one specifically that we were going after, and we peek over the ridge and
over there staking out the llamas, dropping their panniers, and I look over and Lorenzo's like, bucks, bunch of bucks. And there's 2 bucks right down below us. There's 5 or 6 bucks scattered in the trees. There's bucks feeding in the trees. I'm like, holy cow.
And I started to glass kind of on the further ridge lines where Beau had said there's been a lot of deer activity. So I'm kind of looking in these other spots and I turned up a deer. I could see his giant back right fork in his front right fork, and I immediately lost it.
Lorenzo had said, I think that buck in the notch is the big one. Like the big one that Beau has pictures of for many years.
It's Beau's big buck. We got to go after it. We have to get on it.
I watched him for 2 summers until we got the tag again. And this year he put on a lot of body size. He put on a lot of mass on his horns. He put on a lot of height. Same deer, same location, just a lot bigger.
All right, Lorenzo, get set up, get ready.
He's coming up. Ready?
Yep. Ooh, behind him, right again. I got his attention.
And the wind drift kind of moved me to the right.
It's coming downhill.
He's downhill with those other ones. You see him? You see him in that group of 3 there?
Yep.
He's walking right through the middle of them.
Ready?
Yep. There, you got him. Drilled him.
Drilled him?
Yep. Get ready.
There was a lot of wind drift.
You dead centered him. He's still standing. It was a little bit back, like in the liver.
Ready?
Yeah.
It sounded like it hit him.
Yeah. It sounded like it went right through him.
That last shot felt really good.
And all of a sudden he catches his wind and he starts going towards these trees and he ends up in these trees. We're just gonna stay here and watch. He's not getting out of these trees. He's dead down there.
Some of his buddies are up feeding. We haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, there's deer down below him feeding. There's deer walking through the trees feeding. So every one of us have a different angle on this patch of timber that
if he were to come out, we're gonna see him.
It's big, vast, wild country. If you go push this animal, they are gonna run downhill and you're never gonna catch up to them.
And then they're gone forever and they still perish, you know?
I'm 100% confident in this decision. Well, Lorenzo snuck down there because he saw a deer bedded that he thought it was that buck, and he just waved to us to come down, so I suspect it was that buck.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, just this length right here and this length. That's the exit side, and he was quartered a bit, so the entry is better, but still, I mean, it's not the best.
What an amazing animal.
It being a deer like that and of that caliber just made it insanely more special. And when I first got up to him, just his overall body size, antler size, everything about him was special.
Wide, tall, everything you'd ever think of in a mule deer. Myself, I didn't know mule deer got that big. Is this for real? Is this buck really here? It almost felt unfair that Beau was not there.
And I woke up at 10:30 that morning and my inReach is just going off. Bzz, 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 bzz. And both Randy says, Big Elvis is down. I took all my meds and got hydrated and ate breakfast.
We look up there and there's Beau up there waving his orange hat. He found the energy to come up there and join us.
Look at that thing. Watching them climb up and out of that basin all the way up to their glassing point with that buck and their smiles. It was pretty surreal for me, you know, and in a lot of ways I felt like a chapter of my backcountry stories and experiences had been closed, you know?
It is. Dude, I got the shakes and the chills.
This is one of my greatest hunting trips ever. Thanks to you. And I'm probably not even gonna shoot anything.
Look at that thing. Good job, guys.
To kind of see this buck come out of that basin and to have a history with them, you know, it kind of just felt like a chapter of my life was complete and full, and it was just really satisfying for me.
I don't know what to say. I mean, what a legend of a mule deer. My goodness sakes.
If you can ask Randy and Lorenzo, I kept asking him, I was like, tell me about his body. How big was it? And they both said it's the biggest body deer they'd ever seen in their entire lives.
He was so excited for Lorenzo's success. And I think that tells you the quality of a person.
And about an hour and a half before dark, I told him, I was like, look guys, I'm gonna go glass the cirque, the inside of this basin, and I start turning up deer.
So I came down on the ledge and glassed up some deer, and I found one buck that looks pretty dang good. I just wanted Randy to take a look at him and see what he thought.
And he said, look in my spotter. There's a buck way over there.
There's 3 big bucks in here that we were after. The Lorenzo's, which we thought was a 200-inch buck, 185, 190-inch buck, and then a really low 180s, really high 170s buck. And so I always call them buck 1, 2, and 3. But there's one buck that came out to the edge of the tree line, just barely, and I just saw his frame. I'm like, oh man, it's gotta be buck number 2, buck number 3, it's gotta be.
Isn't that good? Yes. Are you kidding me?
Beau finding that buck on his way back to camp kind of set the plan for what the next day would be.
There's about 135-inch buck out there. Kind of crab claws up here, back here. But Beau said he had a sign on him. Shoot me. Randy, shoot me.
Take me now, Randy. You think he'll go too far from where we saw him tonight?
No. He's going to feed right on that bench.
Yeah, so might be right there.
Because he's got trees to bed on either side.
The next morning when we head out, I'm not that worked up if I shoot a deer. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to, but I want Beau to shoot a deer. We leave and we get out on this ridge where we can overlook that spot Beau had seen the deer the night before, and the sun comes up. and there's 5 bucks straight across the hill from us. None of them are that buck that he'd seen the night before, but one of them's a really good buck.
This is what dreams are made of, hunting mule deer.
But then also we see the bigger buck that I had seen the night before. Typical 4-point, with big old fronts, great frame, and it was twilight, and he started moving, busting in and out of the timber. As he beds, I look down way to the bottom of the basin. 2-point, 2x3, 4-point, 4-point. Look at that buck, he's got a kicker.
On the left side, where he forks in the back, it goes straight back about 6 or 7 inches. And as quick as Beau saw that buck, he's like, I want to shoot that buck.
We found one. There's 2. Yeah, let's go shoot them all. There is 2. Shoot them. There is 2. There's one big and one small.
I told Randy, he's like, you want to kill the buck that's in the trees? He's like, yes. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to shoot that deer. Come on, let's go. We get down, we get into position. The biggest buck, the one that we wanted to shoot, he's the last one.
A 620.
He's about to go into the timber?
Yeah.
Yep, he's behind a tree now.
Ah! Buck just went into the timber.
First of all, we're having a really good time, and we're not working, which is great. And second of all, Randy's up about half a mile away, up on the ridge, glassing over on a really nice buck over here. Randy's buck's in the timber, mine's in the timber. So now we're just thinking about what we can do.
Okay, we saw him go into this timber. Let's wait him out till he come out and feed at 5 or 6 in the evening.
I'm gonna make a loop up here where those 5 bucks bedded. Beau's gonna go down here where those 5 bucks bedded. And me and Jonathan, the camera guy, are gonna wait out that buck till he gets out of its bed sometime around 5 o'clock.
We were 130 yards from where those deer had disappeared that morning, and we sat there for 5 hours waiting. Hey folks, Randy Newberg here. Hope you're enjoying this episode from season 9 of Fresh Tracks. It's been out on our Fresh Tracks Plus platform since we launched last September, and now we're launching season 10 over there. No matter where you watch us, whether it's on YouTube or whether you're one of our paid subscribers, we thank you. And if you want to check out Fresh Tracks Plus, I hope you go to the link below. It'll take you to freshtracks.tv. Whether you sign up for the free version over there or you sign up for the paid version, either way, we really appreciate it.
Lorenzo and I, with a iPhone and a GoPro, are standing guard at our glassing spot. One of the 2 points that we saw early in the morning started feeding out of the bottom basin on that open park.
I think I might be able to get like 630 yards from where the small buck is. I think if we drop down and go around the snow, we might be able to get another 150, 200 yards closer.
Lorenzo and I just went like this. I'd glass and walk, glass and walk. And whenever the buck had his head down, I'd just have my glasses and we'd just be walking and walking and walking. He'd look at us, we'd stop. And all of a sudden, another buck comes into the timber, and I can see his feet, I can see his body, have no idea what he is. And finally, Renzo's like, he's gonna step forward, and he steps forward, and Renzo's like, that's him, that's him, that's him.
His head's just sticking out for me, so he's about to come out for you. It's him for sure. Heavy.
I'm sitting there on the gun on the bipod, I'm just freezing with, and so the buck takes a few more steps.
Okay, he's starting to come out to the left more. He's about 10 feet from that buck. Here he comes. You see him? That's him. Yep. Oh, hammered him.
And I knew it was a good hit, and he kind of hunched up and rolls backwards. And I was like, oh, I was excited, but I just wanted to make dang sure that I put a good shot on him. Buck wasn't suffering, and that we could see where he's at.
Man, that jet spike's cool. I want to see him.
I think we need to go down there, man.
I'm gonna defer to you.
I think I need to go down. That buck, because I'm gonna run out of light, and if I gotta finish him off, I gotta go.
True.
So we're waiting and I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, you know what? We only have about 30 minutes of filming light. We're gonna get up and we're gonna sneak along this edge of trees, hoping that somehow those bucks have come out. Jonathan's like, there's a buck right there. And so I look through my binos, I'm like, okay, that's buck number 2. He's the tall 4x3. I get my rifle ready, get my pack up, and I'd range him. He's like 108 yards. And he's just standing there looking at us. I'm not gonna shoot him, I don't think. You would be so easy. Why can't you be buck number 1, the bigger one? And Jonathan's like, I'm ready. And I'm whispering in my mic right here, like, I'm not gonna shoot him. Don't worry, I'm not gonna shoot him. And Jonathan's like, he's still there. He's still there. I'm like, yeah, I know, he's not buck number 1. Well, I forgot Jonathan had turned his headset down because that gunshot would just, boom, blow his ears out.
Why didn't you? He's not the one. Really? Yeah.
He's looking at me like, what in the heck were you waiting for? I had him, I told you I had him. We hear a gunshot. And I know it's gotta be Beau because it's down in the basin and we're the only ones crazy enough to come in here. We got 6 deer standing there in this big chute that Mr. Big had been in earlier.
Right on my shoulder. See him right there? Yeah. Is there a buck with him?
Just watch him feeding up, feeding up, feeding up.
I can't get around the corner because these deer got me pinned down.
I was hoping that big buck might feed out with him, but I think he went out the backside or he went and bedded down lower than we really expected. There's a reason that he's an older buck. He's lived through many hunting seasons. He's put the slip on many guys like me who thought that they had him nailed. So I told Jonathan, I said, you know, I'm pretty sure that Beau killed that buck. And let's get down there and see if we can help. I came over here, I dropped off that mountain, I see a headlamp out there. Pretty sure that's Beau. We gotta go around here. I'm gonna go help Lorenzo with these llamas. I see he's coming.
I hear the llamas.
Look at that. Nice job, man.
Thanks, buddy. Pretty exciting, huh?
Congrats.
He's a beaut.
Indeed.
Dude, what a cool buck.
Sure enough, that buck that had the funky back pointing tine is laying there on the ground and Beau has a big smile on his face. He's so excited.
The adrenaline kind of wore off and I just started feeling really sick. And so those guys basically helped me process most of the deer. We loaded up on the llamas and began the 1.5-mile trek out back to camp.
That's yours, Lorenzo?
That's my bag, yep.
Yeah.
You put the gun in there?
I did,
Beau?
yes sir. If that's okay with you.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you very
Take
much.
whatever pace you want, Beau. You know the way out of here?
Kinda.
I don't. I'm just following you. I know what this means to Beau. This means more than just, hey, this is the meat that me and my family are gonna eat this winter and this cool looking character buck. What it means is, in spite of all these cancer treatments I'm going through, how disrupted my life is, how my business has been so negatively impacted by COVID, I'm still, this part of my life is still here.
I need to go and just clear my mind and just kind of get away from the chaos of the world. And I kind of just had enough. I just had had enough and needed to go get away for a minute.
So now we're sitting here, we got 2 days left. I'm the only guy left with the deer tag. And so we go out at daylight, and me and Beau and Lorenzo are there just glassing and glassing.
Just found a buck way over on the other side of the basin.
Okay, we find what we'd called buck number 2, the tall 3x4. Like, nah, if I wanted him, I would have shot him, but he stood there and looked at me for 3 or 4 minutes. And then we saw some other bucks, saw a smaller 4-point that was with them, and pretty soon all the deer are bedded. Beau and Lorenzo and I, we just sit there and tell stories and try to pass the day and figure out what's going on. And I took a nap, and when I woke up, it was just me and Lorenzo. I'm like, where'd Beau go?
I was like, you know, I'm just gonna climb up to this peak and glass down into these basins, get higher and come in from the north side to be able to see on the back side of the timber where those deer like to bed. I was like, that's what I gotta do.
So I turned and looked back, and I can see Beau up on the peak there.
And all of a sudden, out of my peripheral vision comes this buck. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
And I pull up my binos, and instantly I'm like, holy crap, it is buck number 1. He's been in this basin for the last 2 days that we've been hunting him.
Where is Randy? Where's Lorenzo? So I'm waving my hat, come on, come on.
We all split up. And Beau is up here waving for me to get over here. So I had to leave with the llamas. I just tied him off over the hill.
And I sat there for 58 minutes while Randy and Lorenzo get all the way to the point.
And at that time, Beau made it to Randy and I and said, he's right there. He's right in that patch of trees. He's bedded down.
Hey, this is where he bedded. This is where he bedded.
And Beau's like, you're going down there and you're gonna kill that deer, and I'm gonna stay up here and it's gonna be on phone scope, because you always tell me if you don't get it on camera, it didn't happen. The wind is howling, and I'm not taking a 500 or 400 yard shot in this crosswind. We gotta drop about 500 vertical feet.
Let's go back around, drop that side, stay out of his sight.
And I look and I see his antlers, and he's bedded facing away from us.
Perfect situation.
This is so steep. It's one of the steepest places in the whole world that I've ever been in my life. And I grew up on the Wellsville mountain range, steepest mountain range in North America.
I'm trying to get a shooting rest. Well, when you're on a slope like this and you're right-handed, you can't lay prone. So I told Lorenzo, give me your pack.
Can you put your bag underneath this corner of my bag? Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to help him, how we could set up the packs. It was so steep.
And I lean, and it's like, oh, wrong angle. So I keep adjusting the packs. Thinking, gosh, we got this wind blowing. This is, I don't know how this is gonna work.
If I make this shot, it's gonna be a miracle.
It's like, all right, when I get to the bottom of my breathing cycle, I'm gonna start putting the pressure on the trigger.
I heard it hit him. The sound reaction of the bullet couldn't have been better. I heard it hit, and I heard it hit hard.
He's dead.
I heard it hit him.
He's dead.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Randy, yes. And we see him kind of take off down the mountain a little bit, and he starts to tumble, and then falls into a patch of trees, and signed, sealed, and delivered.
That was the hardest shot I've ever made. Once the buck is down, we hear Beau yelling up on the mountain.
He got him! He got him!
What a shot, Randy.
I can't believe it, Lorenzo. I can't.
Crazy the way it worked out. Crazy. Buck never made a mistake, but somehow, some way, we still got him killed. Nice job, Randy.
I can't believe it.
To hunt a buck like that in an area like this with good friends of mine, Randy and Lorenzo, and my best old buddies, the llamas, it was just surreal.
This is gonna be in my handful of hunting memories. It's gonna be right in that top 5. I can't even explain how much joy it gave me to see Beau that excited. And him and Lorenzo just shaking their heads like, how did we pull that off?
You know, who knows what the future will bring, but the present and the past the journey has been remarkable. And so I try not to take it for granted and to be grateful for the moments and the memories and the journey, hard, easy, and good, all of it.
I know a lot of people are gonna watch this and they're gonna say, wow, look at the 3 deer those guys took. But I hope that you take from this the same thing I am. The quality times with friends are worth more than anything. But those memories will always be here in my heart, in my mind. And it will make me thankful that I didn't wait until someday before Beau and Lorenzo and I came and did something that I've dreamed of.
Whatever you guys like to do in life, whoever you are, whatever helps you find a good balance within yourself so that you can be a better person, I just say do it, you know? Do more of it. And if you truly want something out of life and you work hard at it and have some good people around you that believe in you, that amazing things can happen.